My friends, if breaking the chains of limitation is the first step to freedom, then aligning with your higher self is the step that takes you beyond freedom into true power. Freedom removes what holds you down, but alignment gives you direction, purpose, and the energy to soar. Imagine breaking out of a cage, finally free to run in any direction. But what if you don't know where to go? That's where alignment comes in. It's the compass of your soul, pointing you towards the life you were always meant to live. Deep within you, there exists a version of yourself that is not bound by fear, not clouded by doubt, not distracted by the noise of the world. This is your higher self. It's the version of you that sees clearly, that knows who you are, what you're capable of, and why you are here. Most people never meet this version of themselves because they are too busy listening to the loud voices outside, the expectations of society, the pressure of family, the constant comparison with others. They get lost in the crowd, and the voice of the higher self becomes faint, like a whisper in the wind. But that whisper is still there, always there, waiting for you to stop, to be still, and to listen. It calls you to remember who you really are. It calls you to rise above the noise and step into truth. And when you align with that voice, when you begin to live from that higher self, life changes in ways you cannot imagine. Decisions become clearer, actions become purposeful, and challenges become opportunities. You stop wandering blindly, and you start moving with power. Alignment doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean you will never stumble, never feel fear, never face doubt again. It means that even when those things show up, they no longer control you. You rise above them because you are anchored in something greater. You are anchored in truth. And truth is stronger than fear, stronger than doubt, stronger than any obstacle in your path. Think about a river. If you swim against it, you exhaust yourself. You fight, you struggle, and yet you go nowhere. But if you turn around and align with its current, suddenly, the river carries you with ease. You move faster, with less effort, because you are in flow. This is what alignment with your higher self feels like. Instead of struggling against life, you flow with it. Instead of being drained by the fight, you are energized by the journey. The problem is that so many people resist their higher self because it demands change. The higher self asks you to let go of what is comfortable but false and step into what is uncomfortable but true. It asks you to release old habits, toxic relationships, and limiting beliefs. And the ego doesn't like that. The ego wants control, comfort, and safety. It will fight alignment because alignment means surrender. It means trusting something deeper than your fears, something greater than your doubts. But here's the secret. When you surrender to your higher self, you don't lose control. You gain real control. You no longer react blindly to life. You respond with wisdom. You no longer chase empty goals. You pursue meaningful purpose. You no longer live by chance. You live by design. That is true power. So how do you align with your higher self? It begins with awareness. Take time to quiet the noise. Disconnect from the constant flood of distraction. Social media, negative voices, endless comparison. Spend time in silence, in reflection, in prayer, in nature. In that stillness, the voice of your higher self grows louder. Next, it takes honesty. You must be brutally honest with yourself. Where in your life are you living a lie? Where are you pretending to be someone you are not? Where are you choosing comfort over truth? Alignment requires stripping away the masks, letting go of the false identities you've built, and standing naked in the light of authenticity. It's not easy, but it's liberating. And finally, it takes courage. Because once you know the truth, once you hear the call of your higher self, you can no longer hide behind excuses. You must act. You must take the steps, make the changes, and walk the path. Even if it's hard, even if it's uncertain, even if it scares you. That's where real transformation happens. When you live in alignment, you stop asking, What do others expect of me? And you start asking, what was I created to do? You stop chasing the approval of the world and start living for the purpose of your soul. And when you do that, life opens up in ways you cannot imagine. Doors appear where walls once stood. Opportunities come not by chance, but by alignment, and peace fills your heart. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are finally living in truth. Understand this alignment is not a one-time choice. It is a daily practice. Every day, you will be tempted to fall back into the noise, the masks, the lies. Every day, the ego will try to pull you away. But every day, you can choose again. Choose truth. Choose authenticity. Choose alignment. And each time you do, you grow stronger, more powerful, more limitless. So I ask you now, are you living from your lower self, bound by fear, or are you ready to rise into your higher self, guided by truth? Are you drifting aimlessly, or are you ready to align with the current that was always meant to carry you forward? The choice is yours. No one can make it for you. No one can align for you. But the moment you choose alignment, everything changes. Because when you align with your higher self, you stop surviving, and you start living. When we talk about unlocking the true power inside of you, there is one principle that cannot be ignored: the power of focused energy. Energy is life. Everything in this universe is energy vibrating at different levels, and every thought, every emotion, every action you take is an expression of energy. The problem is not that people don't have enough energy. It's that their energy is scattered. It's diffused, wasted on too many directions, lost in distractions, diluted in confusion. And when your energy is scattered, your life feels scattered. You might be busy all day, but you're not moving forward. You might be exhausted, but you're not fulfilled. You might be chasing everything, but catching nothing. Think of sunlight. When it shines normally, it's warm, gentle, but it doesn't burn. But take that same light, focus it through a magnifying glass, and it becomes powerful enough to set fire. That's the power of focus. Your energy works the same way. When you direct it all into one clear intention, one burning desire, one aligned purpose, it becomes unstoppable. That's when transformation happens. But most people live with a fractured focus. They wake up, check their phone, get distracted by notifications, scroll through endless feeds, get pulled into gossip, into comparison, into things that drain their energy. And then they wonder why they feel empty, why nothing changes. The truth is, energy flows where attention goes. Whatever you consistently give your attention to, that's where your energy goes, and that's what grows in your life. So the question is not whether you have power. The question is, where are you investing it? If you invest your energy in fear, fear will grow. If you invest it in doubt, doubt will grow. If you invest it in excuses, excuses will grow. But if you invest your energy in growth, in courage, in faith, in purpose, then your life will expand in those directions. You cannot escape this law. You are always creating, always shaping, always building something with your energy. The only difference is whether you are doing it consciously or unconsciously. This is why focused energy is not just about productivity. It's about creation. You are literally creating your reality every single day with the focus of your mind and the direction of your energy. And when you scatter that energy into 1,000 meaningless things, your reality becomes chaotic. But when you channel that energy into one aligned direction, your reality becomes powerful, purposeful, and alive. Look at the most successful people in history. They weren't the ones who tried to do everything. They were the ones who focused on one vision, one mission, one calling, and gave their energy fully to it. That's how empires are built. That's how legacies are created. That's how ordinary men and women become extraordinary. Not because they had more talent, more money, or more opportunities, but because they learned to direct their energy with ruthless focus. Now let me ask you, where is your energy going right now? Is it being drained by overthinking, by worry, by regret of the past and anxiety for the future? Or is it being invested in building, in growing, in becoming? Because you cannot hold both. Every moment you spend worrying is a moment of energy lost from creating. Every moment you spend scrolling without purpose is a moment of energy stolen from your dream. And every day you scatter your energy, you push your breakthrough further away. But here is the good news: you can reclaim your energy anytime. You can redirect your focus anytime. You can choose, right now, to stop wasting it on what doesn't matter and start investing it in what does. It starts with clarity. Decide what truly matters to you. What is the vision that burns in your heart? What is the dream that refuses to die? What is the purpose that makes your soul come alive? Once you know that, you now have a target for your energy. Then comes discipline. Because focus is not a one-time decision, it is a daily practice. It means saying no to distractions, no to the noise, no to the things that drain you. It means protecting your time, protecting your attention, protecting your mind like it is sacred. Because it is. And then, with that discipline, comes momentum. The more you focus, the more powerful your energy becomes, and the faster you move toward your vision. Let me remind you, energy is not infinite. Every day, you wake up with a certain amount, and how you spend it determines your future. So why spend it on things that don't matter? Why waste it on doubt, on negativity, on meaningless habits? Why not take that same energy and pour it into becoming the person you were created to be? Because when you focus your energy on your highest vision, not only does your life change, you change. And when you change, the world around you changes. Imagine what would happen if for the next 6 months, you gave all your energy to one dream, one mission, one transformation. Imagine if you stopped scattering it into fear, into distraction, into other people's expectations, and instead directed it fully into building the life you desire. Do you think you'd be in the same place? Or would your reality shift completely? The answer is clear. You already know it. The question is whether you are ready to commit to it. Because your energy is your most precious resource. Money can be lost and earned again. Time cannot be stopped, but it keeps flowing. But energy, once wasted, it's gone. That's why you must treat it with respect, with focus, with intention. So let me ask you, what will you do with the energy you have right now? Will you scatter it into the noise, or will you focus it into the fire? Will you allow it to drain you, or will you use it to fuel your vision? Will you let it be wasted, or will you direct it into becoming unstoppable? The choice is yours, and the moment is now. Because when you master the power of focused energy, nothing in this world can stop you. Living limitlessly is not about having no boundaries in the physical sense. It's not about ignoring responsibilities or living recklessly. It is about breaking the invisible walls that exist only in your mind. Most people live inside cages built by their own beliefs, fears, and doubts. They carry invisible chains of, "I can't. It's impossible. What if I fail? What will people think?" These chains are not real, yet they feel so heavy, so convincing, that they stop a person from ever discovering who they truly are. The truth is, you were never created to live small. Look at the universe around you. It is limitless. The stars, the galaxies, the oceans, the skies, they carry no end. And yet human beings, the most powerful creation, choose to shrink themselves into small boxes of fear. They choose to believe they are limited when in reality, they carry the same limitless energy of creation within them. You are not a mistake. You are not ordinary. You are not powerless. You are a reflection of the infinite possibilities of existence, and the only thing standing between you and the life you desire is the belief that you can't have it. Living limitlessly begins with the shift in mindset. When you stop asking, "What if I fail?" and instead ask, "What if I succeed?" everything changes. Failure is not the end, it is the process. Every setback is a step forward, if you choose to learn from it. But most people quit before they even start, because they are trapped in the prison of imagined failure. The limitless person understands that failure is not a wall. It is a doorway. A doorway to growth, to resilience, to mastery. Think of the people who changed the world. Did they live within the limits of what was normal? No. They broke the limits. They questioned what others accepted. They believed in possibilities others laughed at. They pushed beyond the boundaries of comfort. And that is why their names are remembered. If they had lived small, if they had accepted limits, the world would be poorer today. And just like them, you too have the power to live beyond limits. Not because you must change the entire world, but because you must first change your own. But living limitlessly doesn't mean everything will be easy. It doesn't mean the path will be smooth. In fact, the more you expand, the more resistance you may face. The world is not used to people who refuse to stay in boxes. Society often tries to pull you back into what is safe, what is ordinary, what is acceptable. But that's the very test. Living limitlessly is not about what the world allows. It is about what you allow yourself. You must give yourself permission. Permission to dream big, to take risks, to believe in yourself when no one else does. Permission to shine when others want you to stay small. Permission to step into the unknown, even when fear screams at you to stay where you are. Without that permission, your power remains locked inside you. With that permission, your power explodes and life transforms. Living limitlessly also means tapping into the infinite resources inside you. Your creativity, your courage, your resilience, your faith. These are not limited. They are like muscles. The more you use them, the stronger they get. The more you step outside of comfort, the more your courage grows. The more you embrace challenges, the more resilient you become. The more you believe, the more miracles unfold. And soon, you begin to see that the limits you thought were real were only illusions, melting away in the light of your determination. Another secret to living limitlessly is realizing that time is precious. Every day you spend playing small is a day of potential wasted. Every moment you allow fear to control you is a moment of greatness lost. Life is not infinite in years, but it is infinite in possibilities. And when you decide to live with boldness, with passion, with vision, you expand time itself. A single year of limitless living can be more meaningful than decades of living in fear. Living limitlessly also requires alignment. You cannot live a big life if you are chasing things that don't resonate with your soul. Too many people think limitless living means chasing money, fame, or recognition. But true limitless living is about pursuing what sets your soul on fire, what makes you feel alive, what brings meaning to your existence. Because when you are aligned with your purpose, the energy inside you is unstoppable. Doors open, opportunities appear, and challenges become fuel instead of obstacles. The limitless life is not lived in theory. It is lived in action. You can read every book, watch every video, listen to every motivational speech, but until you take that step, nothing changes. The first step may be scary, the second uncertain, the third uncomfortable. But with every step, the chains begin to break. And once you taste freedom, once you experience the power of breaking a limit you thought was real, you never want to go back. That is when momentum takes over, and you begin to live fully, fearlessly, and expansively. And let me tell you this, the world desperately needs people who live limitlessly. Because every time one person breaks their limits, they show others that it's possible. Every time someone chooses courage over fear, they give permission to others to do the same. Your limitless life is not just for you. It is an inspiration, a ripple that spreads, a light that guides others out of their own darkness. So ask yourself, are you living small? Are you hiding behind excuses, behind fears, behind other people's opinions? Or are you ready to step into the life you were meant to live? Because the truth is, no one is going to hand it to you. No one is going to open the cage for you. You must break your own chains. You must take the keys that are already in your hands and unlock the door. Stop waiting for permission from the world. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for someone to save you. You are the one. You are the answer. You are the miracle waiting to happen. And the moment you decide to live limitlessly, the moment you declare to yourself that you are done with fear, done with smallness, done with excuses, that is the moment everything shifts, because limitless living is not about having no limits. It's about realizing the only limits that exist are the ones you accept. So step out. Break free. Live boldly. Live fully. Live limitlessly. Because the truth is simple. Your only real limit is the one you choose to believe.